bit of a low mood. I've been trying to record for like the past hour and a half, but all the interferences and different things that I've been talking about with the spiritual journey that I'm on. I'm even looking at my face right now. My face looks so much more round. I don't know if it's the angle or I don't know what's going on, but yeah, there's a story time for that as well. Because I think I've gained quite a bit of weight, regardless of me not eating anything. And that's actually happened to me in the past. So yeah, definitely a story time. Let me write that down because my brain has been erased like 15 to different times in the last hour. Every time I'm like about to hit record or I start recording, it's like blank. And I'm like, wait, what was I talking about again? So yeah, let me make a note about that. So I'm going to do my story time on my weight loss and my weight gain. Can you hear the writing? The sound effects. And my weight gain, the spiritual attack that I had about that, because that was weird. I wasn't eating anything or anything like that, and I just was gaining and losing weight like crazy, and there was no medical reason behind it. So anyways, what I was going to talk about was the fact that yeah, just basically if you've been following the different story times and different little things that I've been sharing about my spiritual journey, then you will be a little aware of what I've been going through. I wasn't sure if it was an attack or if it was an ascension or if it was both. I got two different readings. One was a short reading. The other one was a longer reading. The second reading was by she goes on the different platforms, she goes by Sunmoonandrootz, and I had referenced her in one of the previous videos that I did. And I found her information to be somewhat helpful, especially at the time, because she had volunteered some information and some advice prior to the reading, and then also subsequent to the reading. It's not things that I would feel comfortable doing, some of them. Some of them I had already been done to exhaustion, like to the point that I was like, I didn't even really have the opportunity to share that information with her because of the brain fog and the different things that have been happening, and like legit memory loss. It's like I'm about to say something, it's like, and it's gone. So what happened was when I finally figured out how to summarize what I wanted to say to her, this back and forth that we were having, not in a contentious way, but back and forth in the sense that I was letting her know different things as I was recalling them, and then different things as they were happening to me. And, you know, she has her way of doing things, as, you know, anybody who has any spiritual gifts, that especially the ones that they exercise or practice, they have their way of doing things, and some things might be related to their own culture and their own background. And, you know, I have mine, which, you know, again, sometimes gifts are passed down and they run in the family. And sometimes you might be the one person, or maybe it might be you and it might be somebody else, like, I don't know how many generations ago that might have had it. And then there's some people who just don't know of anybody in their family who's had any spiritual gifts. So there's some things that she was recommending and suggesting that just did not fit, not really fit, but I wasn't comfortable with. And yeah, other things, like I said, I had tried to exhaustion, like I had already done them, but I didn't get the opportunity to explain that to her, because when I finally figured out how to summarize what I should have asked in the very beginning before even receiving the reading from her was, are the symptoms that I'm having, the physical symptoms, the memory loss, the brain fog, the this, the that, all the different things that have been happening to me, are they due to ascension or attacks? Just plain and simple. That would have just got me on the right path as to if I did need a full reading, or where I could go for a reading, or who I wanted to talk to for a reading. And right when I went to ask her that question, she responded to me that because I had sent her through her website, I had sent her a tip, because she has a note on her website that, you know, for like a mini reading, that you can send her a tip, or just in general, you know, I wanted to tip her for, you know, kind of going above and beyond the reading that I had gotten, and then still continuing to keep in contact, which was her choice at the end of the day, to, I guess, just assist me. So I had mentioned that, you know, in regards to anybody else in my family, I didn't really have any sort of communication with anyone that had any gifts or know of anybody who had any gifts. And then, in sharing my journey as it started many years ago, up until this point of complete confusion, I wasn't really getting good feedback from different people in my family. So I kind of was not really left with anyone to talk about other than online communities and getting information that way. So again, I just sent her a tip to say thank you. And then when I thought about the question that would just resolve everything for me and allow me to move forward, probably even on my own, then all of a sudden I get this message from her, an email message that said that the tip that I had given her when I figured out the question I wanted to ask was returned or refunded. And she refunded it with the message that she cannot give me any other readings and it's ancestor orders. I don't know if it's hers or mine or if it's some kind of, again, interference, which I thought, was very interesting because I did feel like it was some kind of, low vibrational interference, because how is it that, she's been volunteering information, not only just about herself, about my situation, answering questions that weren't even a part of the reading or anything like that. But then as soon as I come down to the actual one thing that I've been trying to get to the bottom of, but kind of beating around the bush, I guess the way that I'm getting interfered with energetically, she just disappears. And it's like, oh yeah, I don't have access to this, so I probably wouldn't have gotten the message that you left here, but regardless, here's your money back, and yeah, I can't answer any questions for you, ancestor orders. So I was like, oh, interesting. Looks like some of these energies here want to play hardball. So yeah, that's essentially what I experienced with that. A little bit more about my spiritual journey and some other posts that will be coming. But yeah, it's been very interesting to say the least. But I think that things are starting to kind of open up a little bit more. I wouldn't say I'm resistant to the process, but the resistance mainly, if anything, comes from the fact that I don't know what I'm connecting to, or I don't feel connected to it. I feel like it's more of a projection, because when you're in like excruciating pain, when you're losing sleep, when you're being disturbed, as I mentioned, the outer interferences like the knocking and the different things like that, just, projections into your dreams, things that are very disgusting and disturbing. And I've had 2 or 3 instances now. No, I had two instances of sleep paralysis, and I've had a couple of really, really bad lucid dreams. And yeah, those are things that have never happened to me before. But I guess, in terms of, especially like with my gifts before as well, I would get channeled messages and they would be very short and to the point. And versus what's happening now, where it's like I'm just basically almost like spiritually completely wide open and vulnerable to all kinds of energies that are telling me things and suggesting things, and talking about different types of food and random things that I'm just like, what is the point of this? Like, why are you bothering me? And not really knowing how to, turn it on or off. Not turn it on, but definitely not knowing how to turn it off. But yeah, it's just been really, really challenging. So as per usual, as I keep saying, to be continued. As I learn, I will share, because I think that, God doesn't let anything happen just for the heck of it. And I don't think that God is ever absent and just kind of hanging out watching things happen to you. And sometimes it can definitely feel that way. I mean, when I really get down to the nitty gritty of like, some of the behind the scene things that have been happening, it's like, yeah, I've questioned everything that you can possibly think of, even my own existence at this point, because I was just like, this is way too much. But like I said, slowly but surely, as things have become more intense in some areas, there has been, I wouldn't even call it relief, but maybe 1 or 2 little slight kind of glimpses of light in terms of like answers, like, okay, try this or try that. And not necessarily that it would work, but it kind of started to resonate. It's like, yeah, this sounds like the old type of connections that I used to have, where I was getting that type of information where it's like, what should I do about this? I don't know. And then all of a sudden the answer just comes to me. I don't know if it's my actual intuition or if it's just the way that I'm receiving messages now. Like I said, I used to get kind of just little short channeled kind of messages, whether it be through music or just words. but now I'm getting like full-blown sentences and almost damn near conversations. So it's like definitely things are heightening, but I think that as things heighten, there will be opposition to that. I guess that's just the balance of life. You know, there's dark, there's light, there's up, there's down. There has to be an opposing side to things. Yeah, yin and yang as well as what's being projected on me. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the little update, but stay tuned because there'll be more videos uploaded. If you catch me in the same fit, this one doesn't really fit the way I wanted to, but this is my official, well, we won't say official, this is one of the testers, one of my personal testers for my merch. It's a cheat code. It has a little barcode on the back, but I'll do a little 360 spin around for y'all next time when I get it sized and kind of done up the way I want to. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, and until next time, I hope you are having a fantastic new year. I hope your holidays went well, and yep, to be continued.